We're back. Another Tuesday night. Chat with the Muskrat and Mr. Creole catfishing. What's up, buddy?
What's happening? It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
It's the best day of the week.
That's right.
Except for all the days we can go fishing. You know, any day that ends or begins with fishing is automatically a good day.
That's right.
But when it comes to Tuesday night live shows at 8 o'clock, right here, this is the best place to be.
That's it. We're here. You're here. It's awesome.
Yeah, but honestly, it's these guys in chat. Yeah, those guys right there in chat are the ones that make the show, because otherwise it'd just be me and you talking to each other. And that happens enough. That
happens enough as it is. This is our opportunity to have adult conversations.
Yes. This is when we get to dial it back a little bit, put on our thinking cap, and see if we can't pull something out and help somebody here in the community one way or another. But we say while people are pouring in here, we'll go ahead and shout out some hellos. We had Miss Chrissy Brown. She was like a day early.
Wow.
She was here yesterday at 9:43, said, let's go.
Hey, that enthusiasm. I love it.
Hey, actually, Sampy looks like he was here at 10 o'clock too. I don't know what happened here. We got Jimmy. Hey, quit. I just fed you last week. You're not hungry. Leave that boy alone.
And ladies, he's single. Remember.
I don't think that's a selling point whatsoever. We got Jamie Geiger in chat. He's one of our locals here. Welcome, Jimmy. Let's see who else we got. We got Daryl, Trophy Seekers Outdoors. We got Big Rich Catfishing, channel member, and also winner from over the weekend. That right there, that's got his name all over it, doesn't it? It says Brian somewhere.
Yep.
Are you autographing those for an additional fee, or we have to? Is that something we got to talk about?
Ain't nobody want my autograph. Nobody want that.
We got John Boy in the house. Wabash Nate's in the house. Beep, beep, Uncle Jeep. And right behind him is Brian B. Catfishing. What's going on? We got Keith Doc Reed hanging out with us as well. We got Michael Snow fishing the Mid-South. Fishing the Mid-South. What's going on, buddy?
You're right.
I couldn't get my lips moving fast enough. We got Olin Howard in the house as well. Whisker Dreams. We got Paul Boyd. Miss Christina Dunnigan. She says, so should I have Miss Caitlin leave the room? Nope, she's more than welcome.
No, we're good.
We'll keep it PG, maybe PG-13. I guess some subliminal messages possibly. Hey, we got Paul Edmiston from right here in Ohio. What's going on, buddy? As well as Robert Linton. If you have adult conversation, I will have to leave. That's true.
So would we.
Yep, there we go. We got Dale Hayslips in the house. He says, what's Brian saying? He said, if I wasn't sure Creole, I wouldn't be able to talk about my river and 191 pounds of fish. So thanks, Creole.
Just
jabs coming from everywhere. We're talking about their river wars.
Oh yeah, I'm paying for every single time I said 5 pounds to Brian B. So you know what? I'm gonna let him have it.
Yep, got to let him have it. There you go.
Yep.
We got Kevin Fishes in the house as well. Hey, there's John Renner. We'll circle back to him talking about the kids tournament over the weekend. He was able to take a young man out and get on his first ever catfish, and I think he's addicted. He sent me some videos of these guys out fishing that day, and I think he's excited. So
that is awesome.
That's a great thing to get somebody out there in the outdoors and get them hooked on catfishing, man. They can't afford any of the other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
We got Lyle Catfish Weekly. What's going on? Tim Donna's in the house as well. Jerry Parker, hello. I can't remember if I said hello or not. My brain.
My boy Jerry.
That's right. We got.
What's going on with Becca?
We both clicked on her at the same time. Becca's in the house. Becca's been kicking out some Halloween videos.
Yes.
And I like them. I'm a big fan of Halloween and a big fan of corny stuff. And corny Halloween, sold.
Of course.
Sold. So good job with those videos, Becca. I'm sure everyone's enjoying them. Unless they're scared, then it didn't. They might not.
Yeah.
John confirmed he is hooked.
Yes, we have done our job.
That's it. That is it. See, I thought I seen a couple more jump in here. We got Chucky Morgan in the house. My buddy, Buckeye Catfish. There he is. He says he's listening. Hey, thanks for tuning in, buddy. Appreciate you putting us on in the background. Big Rondo, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, Mr. Ronald? One of my Mississippi brothers. He fishes a little south of me, and that dude catches fish. I get pictures all the time. That dude catches fish.
Dude catches fish?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got Chad down here pulling double duty. I just got a picture from Chadwick from Mr. Doc Lang, meaning he is in Alabama. And I was just on the phone with Doc Lang like an hour ago, and he did not mention Chad. So I don't know what's going on down there. If this is supposed to be some kind of top secret covert operation.
I think
you're busted, Chad. You're busted, buddy.
This jig is up.
If you're down, it looks like you're down there in Alabama. You guys enjoying your anniversary together. And what great company to have than Mr. Doc Lang and the crew from Alabama. So enjoy yourself. Good luck. I hope to see some pictures. We also got Mike Greenwell in the house. So I don't want to leave anybody out, but we got to get this show started. What do you think?
I think it's about that time.
It's about that time. So we're going to circle back here in a minute, and we're going to talk a little bit about what was he mentioned your conversation. He called you a rookie for not knowing that. It wasn't that I didn't know. I just looking for additional, it's Doc Lang. Yeah. He forget more by the time he goes to bed tonight than I'll know ever.
Exactly.
That's it. I could call him every day and still learn stuff. But anyway, real quick, we're going to talk real quick about the most recent event, which was the kids Catfishing for Kids Halloween tournament we had over the weekend, and what a success it was. Mm-hmm. We had an awesome time. Miss Becca was able to pop in and help me out. Hey, Kelly, what's going on, buddy? And we had a lot of fun. The kids and the grown-ups all participated in dressing up. We had cookies and milk. We had dancing skeletons. We had bleeding masks. We had all kinds of cool stuff going on out there. And I got you, buddy. And there we go, right there. Miss Catlin, previously known as Caitlin Dunnigan. Miss Catlin stole the show, and I will let me see if I share my screen here real quick. I know everybody that was here on Saturday had seen this already, but good golly, Miss Molly, Miss Caitlin really stole the show with the fish. Yeah. What a fantastic job she did. And man, I just got to point out that Josh does a fantastic job on the boat teaching Caitlin. Mm-hmm. It's difficult at times when you like fishing as much as we all do, not to go ahead and do it for them or just kind of shortcut some things. But it was really refreshing to see the time that Josh takes with Caitlin to teach her the proper ways and all that to make sure that she understands what's going on. And she's going to be out fishing all of us here before too long. I mean, she's already whooped up most adult tournaments that I've seen lately. Caitlin would have whooped us all.
She would have whooped me last weekend. I know that. She had
now mind you, these are all channel cats, but she put 69 pounds of channel cat in the boat in 4 hours. 4 hours of live fishing.
Ooh.
So
that's a good day of fishing by anybody's standards.
That's absolutely. Miss Anna and them, man, they were doing a good job. They were dragging baits, and then they got a text from Ryan Bortz. Brian Bortz was bumping below the dam, and they were dragging baits above the dam. He said, the bait's on fire down here. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a pit crew work in NASCAR, but I believe Bobcat may have missed his calling, because the time it took them to get off the water, loaded up, back in the water, and bumping, I'm serious, was 15 minutes, 12 minutes. I mean, it was stupid fast.
That's
stupid
good.
fast. But it was really good. Hey, there's Mr. Freddie himself. He says he can't stay, but he wanted to stop in and show some love. Hey, Freddie's Outdoor Adventures, huge sponsor of the kids tournament.
Yes.
Not only were there several rods purchased, we had 6 Freddie Outdoor rods to give away during the tournament. We also had a couple Uncle Lou rods, and I made the executive decision in this event that I don't know when or if I'll ever be in a position again to give every single participant a brand new fishing rod, but we were. And so that's what I decided to do instead of 1 or 2 kids cleaning up on all the categories or whatever. I decided to share the love. And so all the kids participating this weekend are going to be receiving new rods. Keep in mind that the Freddie Outdoor Adventure rods are still on order and coming in.
Mm-hmm.
It is November now, so those should be in hopefully by the end of the month or somewhere close to it. So if you are one of the kids waiting on those, you're actually going to be the first in the country to receive yours when they hit the shelves.
First production rods. That's right.
First production rods going out to these kids. So not only that, but Freddie also donated the trophies, which would be wood burning catfish. And so hats off, Freddie. Thank you for stopping.
Right there on the wall behind me, I got a set. Right there.
Well, actually, his are catfish cutouts now.
Oh.
And the wood burning or engraving is going to be in the side with their name.
Oh,
and
wow.
That's all that awesome. Fancy stuff.
That's awesome.
Freddie is. Freddie's the man.
Oh, yeah.
So
a man of many
talents. Before I went any farther, I wanted to make sure I say thank you to Freddie, and big shout out for your support, man. There we go. They should be in before Thanksgiving, and he will ship the rods and trophies together. All right, man. Now, I'm going to go on a limb and say that's our brother, Doc Lang. He's at B-Dubs, and I can't think of anyone else who would be at B-Dubs on a Tuesday night at it's 7 o'clock his time. I've actually participated in the Tuesday night festivities at B-Dubs, and it is a good time. So,
well, Doc, I hope you're doing good, brother.
We're doing good here. Hope you guys are having a good time down there. I expect to see some big fish pictures here soon, brother.
Yes.
All right. So one of the things that's really seemed to happen quite a bit, and I won't get into numbers and try to bring all that up, but we had a fishing event over the last weekend, and there was actually the fishing event of the River Wars, and there was also a monster hunt. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you from watching both of those events that there was a huge number of fish lost. Yep. Either they hooked up and popped off, or they doubled the rod over but didn't hook up. There was a lot of fish that never made it to the bank or never made it to the boat. And, Jeremy and I started talking a little bit about, understanding what those bites mean and what you could do to try to help, land some of those fish. Now, obviously, they're not all going to grab the hook every single time.
Yeah.
But there are things that you can look for and things to consider depending on your bite.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, if you're getting, dink tapped, or you're getting tapped, but you don't know what it is. There are several things to consider. Whenever 2 weekends in a row, I have taken a newbie fishing and they had a blast catching fish, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Greenwell, that's what it's all about, man. Especially taking someone new out and just seeing the new excitement. It's addicting to me. I love that. Valerie Irwin, hello. Thank you for stopping in. But one of the things I was thinking about, and Jeremy and I were talking about was, understand what that bite looks like, and you're getting tapped and you don't know what to do. The first thing to do is monitor your bait. Just look at your bait and see what the condition is after you've received some strikes or bites. Mm-hmm. Because catfish are not the only fish down there on the bottom of the river or the lake or the pond or whatever you're fishing that like to eat meat. And so your options are very wide. And Jeremy, you have some different fish down there than I have here.
Yep.
And so what are some of the fish, you know, I'm going to assume small fish or small creatures, because we talked about that as well, that will mess with your bait and just leave you, you know, to stargaze and try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I know one that I deal with every now and then, and a lot of people deal with is turtles. Okay, you will get turtle bites, and they can look like a small catfish, because what they're physically going to do, they're going to go up to that bait, they're going to grab it, and they're going to turn on and try to swim off with it. So what's going to happen is, on the tip of the rod, you're going to see it start to bow over, and the second it loads up, it's going to pop back up. And you're going to think, oh, a fish grabbed it and dropped it. Well, the turtle will make it look the same, but when you pull your bait in, especially those smaller turtles, and we call them the little streaky heads, but the ones with the red streaks,
yeah,
they'll leave some little triangle-shaped bites in your bait. When you see those little triangle-shaped chunks missing out of your bait, then you know, like, that is a turtle. That's not even a catfish at that point, okay? Another thing we deal with that I think is unique to me and maybe Big Rondo and a couple of others in our area is really big river crawfish. They're really big. They act like crabs. For those of y'all that fish in, you know, coastal regions, brackish waters, same thing. They will grab that bait and try to back up with it, load the rod up. Then whenever there's too much tension, they'll let it go. And a big crawfish will eat, nibble on a bait the same way a crab will do. You'll see the whole edge of the bait just all chewed up. As far as small fish messing with our baits, we don't get a whole lot of that, to be honest, because there's certain species, other predatory species that we have. Let me correct myself, that we don't have that other people do. I don't get many gar bites simply because I fish in such deep water. The only time I'll get a few gar bites is sometimes during the winter, not very often. It's not something I deal with much. But between the turtles, the crawfish, and then in certain times of the year, I'll actually get a couple of saltwater species. Like, I'll actually have crabs messing with my bait. I'll have gaff top catfish messing with them, which acts just like a little dink blue. You know, it's essentially what it is.
So, and you know, that's way down south, Mississippi. We don't have giant crawfish like he's got. We call them lobsters and we eat them. But but what we do have is, you know, we've got bottom dwelling fish, which are like around here, you know, more north is walleye, but around here is more saugeye or sauger. Which get very, you know, in the early stages, they're very small. When I talked to Doc earlier today, this is one of the things he mentioned they deal with down there is they'll have 4 to 6 inch sauger that, you know what a walleye and a saugeye look like. They have all those teeth and they can take precision bites out, and they're known to get like right up in the head of your bait and just chew. And thank you, James. Appreciate that. And they could chew their way up all the way up in there until they get all the good stuff out, and then they leave. And you reel in a head that's not mangled or chewed up, but the insides are gone. And you're like, what the heck? And that's, you know, that's another species of fish that's messing with your bait. Hey, what's up, Whitey? How's it going, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. But then, you know, sometimes you'll reel in your bait and you've got rib cage showing. And that could be a lot of different fish. That could be anywhere from a bluegill pecking on it. If you're in a stationary position, bluegill's pecking on it. You can have small, you know, juvenile catfish or small catfish in general picking at it. And you can kind of tell, you know, when your rod tip is doing a crazy bouncy bite and stuff, you know, a lot of times that's a small fish or a channel cat. Now, there's no absolutes in fish. I don't know if there's absolutes really anywhere, but no absolutes in fishing, meaning that's automatically going to mean a small fish, because we all know that big fish have the ability to tap a bait to death before they hammer it. But the ability for other fish to sit down there and peck away at that bait I'm a believer that I think that moon eye in this part of the country and golden eye and a lot of other parts of the country are a fish that just pesters our bait. These fish are got some gnarly teeth on them, and they eat meat and they eat bugs. And I think that they're plenty capable of picking away at a bait down there. So that leaves us to the next question. El Catfish Grande, what's going on? Welcome. Next question is, okay, what do I do once I realize what's going on? So if it's a gar bite, like Jeremy said, he don't really deal with gar down there, but around here, if you pick up your bait and you're suspecting gar, you'll actually see puncture holes. They're actually triangular in size.
Yep.
And it will look like somebody just hit it with on the back of a cheese grater or something. It's just going to have all these little tiny holes in it. Now, every now and then they'll take off with the bait and they'll rip it and they'll have big slices in the bait. But 9 times out of 10, it's a very subtle bite that you're going to notice.
Yeah. And it's very important to note that it's actually extremely difficult to accidentally hook a gar because they don't inhale a bait like a catfish does. They grab it, take off, and as they're swimming away, they're doing this. They're chewing it. They're trying to kill whatever they've got in their mouth. Then after who knows how long of running, then they swallow it. So that's why you get bait that's all chewed up, tore up. But the second they got tension on it, and all species of gar are the same way. When they feel that tension, they're letting it go. And that's what you get back as a mangled piece of bait.
This is a good statement here. Whitey reminds us that water dogs or hell benders or whatever, what part of the country you're from, they're called something different. But I know in like our Scioto River here in North Fork, there are some small rivers and creeks that have these small water dog. These are 4-legged amphibious creatures of the, I don't know, they're pretty wild looking. I think they're cool, but that's just another species in the water that can definitely mess with you and affect your bite. Oops, sorry. Hey, Fracture Fix is in the house. Fracture Fix was also huge sponsor of this weekend's kids event. Can't thank you enough, buddy. The kids are thrilled and excited. Can't wait to get everything wrapped up and shipped out to the kids. So thank you again for your support in this event. So here's the things. What do you do when you realize that your bait's down there getting dinked to death or tapped to death? Well, it depends. It depends on what you're doing. Depends on the time of year. I'll speak on this because I know Jeremy doesn't do a lot of dragging baits, but for us, when I start getting dink tapped, one of two things: you're either going to speed up or slow down, and you're like, okay, well, no brain, well, no kidding, Roger. It's your only two options. But the thing is, you're going to speed. In my opinion, if the water's warm and the fish are active, I'm going to speed up. I'm going to try to get away from those small dinking biting fish, and I'm going to try to target only the larger fish and try to just get those fish away. The other thing that's going to happen is you may trigger a reaction bite depending on your water conditions and what your scenario is. Now, if I'm in if we're going into the cold months and I'm getting dink bites and it's colder and I expect the fish to be reacting slower or more lethargic, then I will slow down and give them time to grab that bait. Yeah. But generally, I like to speed up because I don't want those small fish to have time to get the bait. I want to get away from them and present those baits to a larger fish.
Yeah. And then moving one step further, okay, you've made your speed adjustments. You're still getting bites, but they're not getting the hook.
Yes.
So now it's like, okay, I'm still getting bites. I'm still not hooking fish, even though I've adjusted my speed. You may have slowed down and got, let's go on the basis of inactive fish. You slowed down. Your bites have increased, but you're still not getting fish on the hook. Okay, now what? I know, and now you're diving into not only what you would do from dragging standpoint, But now what we're going to talk about goes for anchoring. It goes for bumping at certain times. Now we're going to talk about what goes to any style of fishing, and that is what to do with your bait. How do you adjust your bait to account for this? And everyone's immediate answer is downsize, smaller baits, which is correct. You want to go to a smaller profile of bait, but I'm gonna be specific on this, and I have props this time.
Yes,
I
love props.
Love props. Okay, so now, all right, here's my hook, and yes, that is a big, massive hook. I don't catfish with this. This is just someone sent this to me, and they look cool. This is a 16-aught tuna hook. So anyway,
holy moly.
So normally, and I'm going to use this for an example. Okay, this is a pretty average chunk of bait that most of us throw, and when you hook it, you've got it hooked like this. Okay, you got plenty of hook exposure, but look at how much bait is hanging behind the hook. Okay, when you got inactive fish, that's a whole lot of meat that they can grab and not inhale and not get that hook, especially on a smaller fish. So yes, the answer is a smaller bait, but to be more specific, and I'm going to destroy one of my stickers here.
That's a smaller.
For the sake of the show.
Gotcha.
What you're looking for now.
Somebody's heart just broke.
Oh, I know, right? And look, it's hooked the same. I've still got my gap.
Yep.
My gap is clear. But now look at what's sticking out behind the hook. It'd be awfully hard for a fish to grab this and not, well, if this were a normal size hook.
Right, yeah, I got you.
But it'd be awfully hard for a fish to grab this and not get that hook. So a lot of times when we talk about downsizing baits, this is what we're talking about, is you want to reduce how much meat you've got hanging behind the shank of this hook. And this is where I remember Roger referring, I think Doc calls them this, referring to SpongeBob's.
SpongeBob, yeah.
This is where a SpongeBob type of bait will shine. And basically what it is a big old gizzard shad section or a skipjack section, but without the gut pocket. It's everything from the spine up, cut in a chunk. It's almost perfectly square.
Yep.
That is the perfect profile of bait in this exact situation. You're making it much harder for that fish to grab the bait without getting the hook. And when you're dealing with inactive fish, a lazy bite, things like that, for me, that probably gives me a better hookup ratio. It improves it more than any other change I can make. Is just that little detail right there.
Yep. Yeah, that's a fantastic point, Jeremy. And the thing is, so one of the things it's no secret, I love to use fillets. I love to fillet a fish, whether it's moving water or not moving water, whatever the condition, I like a fillet. But one of the things I'll do is if I've got a big fillet and I'm getting short bit or whatever, a lot of times I'll fold that fillet over, I'll fold it in half and then hook it through the top. Now I've got the same amount of bait in the water. So as far as scent, blood, and all that stuff, attraction goes, I've got the same piece of bait, but now I've hooked it totally different. So like if Jeremy would have folded that piece of paper in half and then hooked it through the top.
See, this is your fillet right here.
Yep.
That's normally hooked right here. Right. What he's talking about, he's taking that fillet or fillet, as I say, folding it just like this, and then passing the hook, comme ça, like that.
Yep.
And you've got both little flaps hanging off of that hook, but shorter profile, same piece of bait.
Yep. So, and then that scenario, which you probably will probably know this already, but I would put the scales to scales, have the meat exposed and not scales. So, that's just one trick.
And what you're talking about right there, a stinger hook. double hook rig, however you want to call it, you're basically accomplishing the same thing we're talking about without reducing the size of your bait.
Mm-hmm.
You're just adding a hook further back to, like I said, it gives them that better chance of getting a hook. So instead of downsizing bait, you're giving them another hook.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I love to do. I know if Doc's still watching, he's just shaking his head because Doc does not like to use a stinger hook.
But why? Explain why. I love this explanation.
Because if it ain't big enough to eat the whole thing, that's not the fish he's after.
that you see, the goat says things like that. Yeah. That's what the goat says. When you're the greatest of all time, you can say that.
I'm happy with whatever I can get, so I'm going to put an extra hook back there.
Yeah, and, no kidding, huh?
If it happens to only be 30 pounds, I'll take it.
Let me tell you something. When you ain't caught nothing all day, your standards go lower and lower and lower, and yeah,
you're absolutely right. We spent a couple of days fishing with Doc there when we was on our Tennessee trip and Alabama trip, and the fishing got a little tough. I mean, Doc took us to some great areas. We actually marked some great fish. You just can't make them bite.
Yeah. Now, another little trick that I like, and some people may find themselves in this situation in not too much longer as the temperatures drop. For me, this is a cold water thing. Okay. And also this is an anchoring or bank fishing thing. Okay, your stationary position. I've done all this. I've downsized my baits. I've shortened it up. I've given everything I can to give them a piece of bait where they've got to get that hook. But then they bite it, and the rod just goes back up. They take it, wiggles a little bit, then they let go. It's like they have it, they want to go away, they just don't want to commit. Slow, cold weather, lazy bite. Yeah. This trick, I actually learned this trick. Epic taught me this, and it works way more often than it doesn't. Okay. First thing I'll do, I'll go to my rod, I'll disengage my reel, I'll turn on my bait clicker.
Yep.
And I'll put my rod in a lower position in the rod hole. Like I like to have my rods 45 degrees up. That's the way I fish. I love that big takedown. I'll put them down in the 30 position because it's a little easier for that fish to pull. And what I've noticed will happen, you'll see that rod wiggle just a little, then you'll hear tick, 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 tick. Then he'll stop. Then tick, 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 and he'll stop. Then all of a sudden, there he goes. Not real fast, but there he goes, pulling. You got to let him have it a little bit. Give that fish that little bit of confidence. As he's swimming slowly away, he's going to finish taking in that bait. And when he's got a nice, steady run, whether you have bait clickers or not, if you don't have a bait clicker, you can just thumb the spool, accomplish the same thing. When he's running steady, for about a count of 5, just put the brakes on him. Just either engage the reel or put your thumb down and just stop.
Yep.
That circle hook will do its job. That has caught me a lot of fish in cold water situations. A lot.
The discipline there comes when it's time to set that hook and not yank.
Yep.
A lot of people get excited and yank. It's actually one of the things that's hard to do when you're bumping. Is you'll feel that fish boom hit the bait, and your immediate reaction is yank.
It kind of scares you, like oh, you don't. Yeah. Oh
yeah. Actually, Zach is really really good at it. He will feel that bite, and then he will just kind of stop and just kind of wait and feel. Is that fish? What's he doing? Is he going? Is he going? Is he going? And then he'll turn him sideways.
Yeah.
D85, you set the hook.
Yeah. I know for us, bumping not only helps me locate where fish are, but how they hit that bumping rod tells me everything I need to know about their activity level, how aggressive are they feeding, and I'm even starting to notice by how they hit and how they take off the size of fish that may be in that area and how many of them.
Now you're talking about advanced levels here.
Yeah.
because I'm a line watcher. I love to watch my
Mm-hmm.
line. And when you get in those situations, especially if you're flathead fishing, and how did I know you guys would be talking about bumping? What's
I
up,
literally
Kevin?
mentioned it for like a minute. So,
when you're doing some big flathead fishing and you're a line watcher and you're watching that rod, one of my favorite things to see is that rod go boom, just one quick hit.
yep.
What just happened, Jeremy?
Now, when that first initial boom,
Yeah.
Yep. He inhaled that bait.
He just inhaled it.
He ain't moving. He just, and he's got it.
And now you got to wait. And now you got to wait for him to turn, and swim off with that bait. You may see that rod doing all kinds of funky stuff because he might be working that bait down.
Yep.
But in most cases, he is facing you. You cannot reel down on that fish. You have to let him swim off. You have to let him turn, or you're going to pull that hook right out the front of his mouth. Yep. And so it's a tough, it's a very disciplined situation. Maybe it might be why I'm not flathead fishing very much. I just don't have the discipline. But being able to read those bites and like Jeremy said, he'll probably be able to finish this better than I can. But when that fish does take off, you could tell by the way that rod moves, because a blue cat swims with his tail, right? Yeah. He takes off and he swims with his tail. His head stays pretty much straight like a torpedo. But flathead, he swims with his head.
Like this. They pivot basically on their dorsal fin. Yep. They do this.
Yep. So when that rod takes off, that's why you'll see, a lot of people look for that flathead bite. You'll get that thump, and then you'll see that rod go like this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his head swimming away. And that's that I won't say that's advanced level stuff. I mean, anybody could do that.
Yeah, I don't, James. I do not use J hooks for anything but bait fishing. I'm 100% circle hook.
I use a double action hook. So Zach mentioned it earlier, the D85, which is a Diachi hook that we both love, is a great double action hook. You can set the hook on that. You can reel down on that. You get that hook anywhere near the corner of the mouth, it is sticking and it's not coming out. We actually had to buy tools. I don't know if I showed one, but we actually had to buy tools to remove the hooks because the barbs are so nasty on these Diachis, they won't come out.
Yeah, they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, and so we bought this little hook remover that is very quick, and you're not just ripping and tearing everything. You just a real quick yank, kind of like if you got a hook stuck in your finger, you want a real quick jerk to yank that thing back out of there. You don't want.
Just pop it on out. But and like I said, and Roger said the same thing. By watching the line and watching that rod tip, that tells you a lot about what the fish are doing. And there's certain spots that I fish that I don't know why. Certain times of the year, it happens every year. Oh, Brian, I've got an emoji for you.
Oh boy, Brian B. Hey, thank you for the $9.99. Well done, brother. Well done.
What? There you go. Yeah, that was a good one. I like it. He is laughing right now. He is laughing.
I bet
right
he
now.
is.
But I've got a certain spot that I fish every year around this time of year. This starts to happen. Normally, I fish these spots. I get these really nice, pretty, like what you call a classic takedown, where they just take the rod down and just you got this going on when the rod folds over. Not, it's what you want to see in a takedown.
Oh, yeah.
But right about now, this is what I'm going to start seeing. And it took me a while to figure out what was going on. They'll hit it. They'll hit it. The rod will come back up. And then there'll still be a slight load on the rod. But then nothing. Like, okay, what's going on here? Then all of a sudden I look down in the water and the line is almost coming to me. And remember, I'm fishing in current. That's important here. Like, what is going on? Something's got that bait. So The line never really goes slack per se. I start reeling down, and all of a sudden the line starts coming to me. By the time I reel down, the line is under the boat. That fish hit it, but came to the boat. But because of the current is taking the slack out of the line. The current pulling that bow in the line and actually still loading the rod just a little. You fish fast current, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had to learn when that bump happens, what I'll do, I'll go up to the rod right in front of the reel and I'll grab the line. And I can literally feel that fish dragging my rig because this is normally during the winter when they're inactive and they're close to the bottom. I can actually feel that fish dragging my rig through the line. And I know, like, all right, I got to reel down. I got to chase him. And finally, when he's under the boat, I'll finally get a hook in him. But it's hard to get a hook up when the fish is right below you. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I have to take the rod out the holder and swing to the side when I reel down. That way I can pull the hook kind of sideways instead of trying to pull it straight up and actually get a good hook up on him.
What's that sweeping motion called?
That is the Shaolin hook set. That's what that is.
I knew you wouldn't forget.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I wasn't going to fail you on that one.
No.
But
that's an epic catfish.
Oh, yeah. I was watching Ernie the Hawk Snatcher earlier on TikTok, actually, and I saw something that I see happen a lot to bank fishermen. They'll get a bite, that rod tip will start to come down, and then all of a sudden, poof, it'll come up, and they'll get a slack line. Sometimes it makes them think that, the fish is coming to them, and they'll hurry up and reel down. But what's happened in that case is that fish is grabbed. Wish I had something to grab for that. But that fish has grabbed that rig and pulled it off the bottom. Everything rises in the water. But when the fish lets go, it almost acts like a spring, and it kind of comes back to them, but it comes back a little closer than it was before. That's where the slack line comes from. A slack line bite, you'll have more and more and more slack as you're watching it. If it's slack and just stays there, he's gone. But if you've got more and more and more and more slack, he's coming to you. You better get him.
Yeah, and in that case, you may have something different going on here, but for me, I will reel the slack in, but I will not reel down on the fish. I will try to keep up with him with the slack, and I'll have to wait for him to turn.
Exactly, because remember, he's coming straight to you. All you're going to do is pull that hook out of his lips. Now, if you're using J hooks, cross his eyes. We're talking circle hooks here.
Hello, Facebook user. So a little sidebar conversation with Jerry kind of asked, in cold water temperatures and the light bite scenarios, if we prefer a medium or a medium heavy action rod. And for me, I always go with a fast action tip. I'm pretty much always using medium heavies.
Yeah.
Uncle Jeep with the trolling P. Thank you, brother, for 222. There's 2 stands in here. I prefer a fast action tip. I really don't go down to a medium action rod often. I like to use my mediums when I'm for my planer boards. I love a soft rod to keep from that bait getting whipped around and pulling the clip loose. Why are we Facebook user here? Because on Facebook side, you have to actually click a button to allow give Facebook permission for me to see your name. And if you don't, then it shows up like this. So when you came in from the Facebook side, there should have been a little link at the top that said to allow permission. You have to choose that. Now, if you don't want to choose that, that's completely fine. We're going to say hi to you and appreciate you being here nonetheless. And you're more than welcome to just type your name after your message so we know who you are. Or you can go back and click on that and then we can all see who you are and appreciate you. But I like to do the Facebook side. I did get, in the beginning, I got a lot of people that asked, hey, how come you don't do, hey, it's Sterling. Hey, what's up, buddy? I appreciate you stopping in. We had some folks say that they don't really care for the YouTube thing, or Facebook would be a lot easier. And so we stream on both. We stream on Facebook and YouTube, so that anybody who cares to join us is it's easy for them to join and participate in the activities or chat and whatever we got going on every Tuesday night.
But to touch on Jared's question, kind of from my side, I probably have less rods than a lot of y'all people in chat. I have maybe 8 or 10. I don't have a lot of rods, and a lot of my rods are big, nasty, medium, heavy rods. I don't own any medium actions. I actually own a couple of heavy actions. The one difference I make is during the winter. And because I'm using this rod because I have it in the room with me. But see this big boy right here?
Yeah, heavy.
That is a Big Cat Fever heavy action. This thing is no joke. It's a great rod. I've caught a lot of really big fish on it. When my son sees these in the boat, he gets excited because he knows we mean business.
We're going after.
When the water gets really cold, these stay home. I like a little, I'm like Roger. I like a little more of a sensitive, a little more of a lighter tip because I want to because normally I have to give the catfish a little confidence to take the bait, and a really stiff, heavy action rod is just a little too much. I have a harder time doing that. There's certain rods that I use that always stay in my boat no matter what, because yes, they have a lot of backbone, but they've got the tip to also do the job. The Uncle Lou rods, they're a very good cold weather rod. They got a great tip. It lets me give the fish what they need. My Blue Cat rods, my Muddy River Catfishing Blue Cat rods, they do the job during the winter. They've got the flexibility and tip that I need to do what I got to do. I've got a B&M Silver Cat Elite that definitely fits the bill for that colder, slower bite.
Right.
All medium heavy rods
are not created equally.
Yeah, but because of the more sensitive tip, they do what I need them to do.
Hey, before we get going too far here, I want to say thank you for Ripping Lips Fishing for the $5 super sticker. And Stan just felt left out since how Uncle Jeep dropped the 222. He followed suit. Right? So thank you guys. I appreciate that. I didn't want to go on too much farther without saying thank you. But
time him out. Zach is trying to get him started in chat.
You better not. They did pay the 222 fee. So
he did pay the fee.
I guess it's one. You're allowed one. Yeah. So for me, I'll just be honest with you. I've been a big Uncle Lou's fan from the very beginning. He's not in here. I'm not trying to kiss butt or whatever. If Uncle Lou didn't make these rods or sell these rods and somebody else did, they would still be my favorite. For me, it's all personal. I love the action of the rods. I love the length of the handle. For me personally, it's what I want in a rod. I have been experimenting with some Mad Catz rods. And I got to be honest with you, I like to use the Mad Catz rod, and more so because of the company. I like to support this Mad Catz company because of what they do and, the things I've seen out of the owner. And that's to take nothing away from anybody else. I just personally, I've been drawn to Mad Catz and the owner. It's just personal opinion. But anyway,
that's it. And
I use medium heavy almost all year long, all the time. I've got a few mediums that I like to use when I'm doing, pulling boards, or if I'm channel catfishing. Man, we go to Sandusky Bay. There ain't nothing more fun than fighting 12 to 24 pound channel cats on medium action rods.
Yeah,
dude, that is, if you've never done it, you're missing out. That is a good time that is hard to compare.
But I've in all the situations with light bites and trying to get fish to commit and all this stuff, for me personally, I have to add to the fact of the deep water and the fast currents. that's a lot of the reason why you see me use heavier rods than what you see a lot of other people use. It's not because of the fish. There's a lot of medium action rods that'll handle a really big fish. Just ask Stan. Just simple as that. They'll handle the big fish. Where I find my limits with rod action and the tips is the size of the lead sometimes that I have to throw to hold my bait in position. Sean T. Well, I hope you get better, brother. I really do.
I hope you get feeling better. I just want to make sure Stan, so I know you guys are close. Yeah. But we're going to come back to this question from Robin because I feel it's a very good question.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, no, we can go ahead. Was you finished?
Well, yeah, like I said, that's and sometimes I don't get to explain things like that in my lives or videos or whatever. Is that's why I use my big, heavy, nasty rods, is because it's nothing for me to throw 16 ounces or more of lead. And as good as some of these rods are, asking it to throw 16 ounces of lead full send is too much for some rods. I don't want to break a rod trying to throw a pound and a half of lead with a piece of bait the size of my arm. It's just, it's not practical sometimes.
So Robin asked a very good question. And I love the fact that you're including that, a new catfish angler. And so, one of the things I feel that I know, at least I'm guilty of sometimes, is I'll go into an explanation assuming that everyone knows what I know, or not taking the time to take it down to a newer angler level. And so I love that you put that in there. So it gives us more information to give you a better answer.
Mm-hmm.
And my answer is going to be different than Jeremy's because we fish so much different in water.
That's right.
So for me, going from a fall bite to a winter bite right now, although it doesn't seem to be happening, the fall bite should be on. This is usually when a lot of the fish will try to feed up. This is when they're going to try to start packing on weight. And, even though like a blue cat, they'll feed all winter long. In my opinion, there's not a whole lot of slowdown. They fight totally different in the winter when you hook them up, but they still eat. They have to.
Yeah.
But for me personally, when I go into winter, most of my fish are going to be close to the bottom. They're going to be hugging the bottom. So it's common for me to start doing away with all my floats and run rigs that are right on the bottom. So it's typical for me right now to run a 3-way rig and throw it into nasty cover, thinking I'm going to break off and lose my sinker. But I designed it that way with the 3-way dropper that I'm probably going to lose my sinker.
Yeah,
but that's okay. I think there's a fish in there, and I'll throw in a nasty cover. Going into winter, I won't be doing that. I won't be having a big dropper on there to come off. I'm going to most likely be sticking close to the bottom. You could tell a lot from the first couple fish you catch. One fish doesn't really give you one fish won't really tell the story, but it'll start putting the pieces together for you if you can pay attention. If that first fish, second fish, third fish, they're all covered in mud. When you bring them in, those fish are hunkered down tight to the bottom. And so if they're hunkered down tight to the bottom, you need to keep your bait hunkered down tight to the bottom. If you're throwing, a Santee Cooper rig or a Carolina rig with a big float on the end, and your bait's suspended 2-3 feet up off the bottom, well, that catfish might not ever even notice it. It may be in his detection zone, but in the wintertime, their strike zone seems to get smaller and smaller.
That is a good point right there. Yep.
Their strike zone seems to get smaller. So things that like if you're anchoring, precision anchoring, getting the right setup. So if you mark, I know you fish from a boat. I don't remember if you have a fish finder on that. I noticed you tried to take the boat out the other day and was leaking on you. But being able to mark structure or cover for fish and then be able to precisely get your bait as close as you can to it without getting thrown into the middle of it takes some effort. And we may go back and do that show again because we do get a lot of compliments or a lot of feedback on that show about precision anchoring and using Pythagorean theorem and all that stuff to put your bait where you want it. But for me, things get a little bit tighter. I will start using smaller bait. And in our neck of the woods, I will go from using big baits and hardy baits like bluegill and skipjack to shad. Gizzard shad for me is king on the cold water. And so that, those are some of the things that I switch up. I switch up my bait. My bait will generally be smaller. I'll fish tighter to the bottom, and I will sit a little bit longer on location. So if I'm anchored up on a location, I'm more likely to sit on it just a little bit longer, whereas right now I sit 20 minutes, maybe 30. I may sit 40, 45 minutes or something like that on a spot before we move. I still like to move around a lot, but I will sit just a little bit longer in the cold water than I will in the warmer water. So, you got anything to add? I kind of ran away with that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I know. For me, my rig, my rig changes. In my opinion, at least, my rig changes quite a bit when I suspect that slow winter bite is happening, and my tactics change. Everything gets smaller. Let's call it. Okay, my baits get smaller with a lower profile. Like we showed before. I'm hooking a bait that doesn't have a lot of meat hanging behind the hook because I want them to inhale it. I want them to get that hook first off. Normally, on most of my rigs, I'm running round about a 24-inch leader on my rigs. That's kind of what I like to run. That's what I'm used to. But when I suspect that slow bite is happening, immediately I shorten up to about 18 inches. Sometimes I run a hair less than that, just kind of depends on a certain couple of things, but immediately I'm going to shorten it up 18 inches or so. There you go. Zach's right with me on that right off the bat. A big change also in the rig that I use. 95% of the year, my Carolina rig is I'm using a 3-way crane swivel with a snap to hang my weight. Then my leader's tied off of that. That weight is attached to that point of the line. It is not moving. Okay. When I suspect the winter bite, that is usually the only time of year that I actually will switch, and I will use a regular barrel swivel with a sinker slide. I will switch to that because of that tactic I was talking earlier about letting them have it and letting them run just a bit. With that sinker slide, I'm letting them run a bit without feeling that weight. That's a very, very, very important tactic for me to give that fish a little bit of confidence. Is if they're just that lethargic, they feel and look. And remember, I'm throwing at a minimum, I'm throwing 8 ounces of lead. A lot of time I'm throwing 10, 12, 16 ounces. That is a lot of lead for a lazy fish to drag through the mud. They're not going to do it. They're not. So that's where that sinker slide really pays dividends for me. It allows me to let them walk out just a little bit with it. I tend to put my rods in a lower position in the rod holders. I don't run 45 up anymore. I lay them down to the 33 position in my holders. And as far as tactics go, and that's something that this fella right here taught me, is about nudging those baits. When I set up, I'm throwing at fish. I'm throwing at fish that I see on my sonar. I'm going to throw out to where I think they are and maybe throw some that I think are a little too far. Every about 10 minutes. Now, during this time of year, I'm nudging them. I'm pulling them to me sometimes a dozen feet at a time. I'm pulling them in big intervals towards me if I feel the need to. During the winter, I might pull them 2 feet, 4 feet at a time, just little bit until I contact a fish. Once even if it's a bite, once I get that first bite, I know I'm on to something. Then I can start making my little adjustments to see if I can turn the bite into a hookup. So from fall to winter, at least in my opinion, what I've talked about, I think I make a lot of changes. I really do, because the bite changes so much for me.
Yep. I'm right there with Jerry. He says he hates to throw smaller baits in the winter. He likes using jumbo baits.
Yeah, I know.
We got that in common. I like big baits, and I cannot lie.
It hurts my feelings, but it hurts my feelings even more to skunk. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Josh said, Zach said he got that. He may have got that from Josh Brown, which may have been where I got it. I don't know where.
I remember y'all talking about it.
Yeah, I don't know where it originated from.
There's my wife trolling me. I hear her laughing. I hear her laughing in the living room. I hear her laughing. Yes, we talk with our hands. Yes, we do. Thank you, honey.
Absolutely.
Killing me.
And I'll vouch for this comment here. Zach says the Kentucky rig is his favorite rig most of the time. I would say if he's throwing 6 rods, 5 of those rods are Kentucky rigs, and 1 might be the other. Maybe 4 Kentucky rigs on a good day. But more bait in the water. Different. Depending on how your boat's set up and how far you're throwing, you could have 2 different depths. Depending on the arch of your line. If you throw it clear out, 100 feet, it's going to lay flat on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
And like with me, like if I'm using a float of any kind, I do not use a sinker slide. But like you said, in the wintertime, when I do away with my floats, then I can use a sinker slide.
That's right.
The reason I don't like them in the most of the time is because with a sinker slide and your boat's sitting stationary and your boat swings one way and it drags your bait over, and then it swings back, and then your floats up higher. And then, it drags it back and gives it some more slack. And then it goes even higher.
It climbs on you.
I've sat there before and watched my bait on top of the water. Like, how the heck did I get on top of the water?
Because it's
the boat's
slowly
been swinging and just been feeding it slack.
Yeah. And you see, my reason for, I'm not going to say avoiding them, but my reason for not using sinker slides normally during the year is completely different. When you're throwing a really big chunk of bait and a really big chunk of lead, that sinker slide makes it cast funny. When you, especially with a really big bait, you throw it, you'll see them. They'll start getting away from each other, and it'll make you cast funny. And the 3-way thing is my way of avoiding that.
Your wife says all you gotta do is put something in a cast iron pot, and he stops.
That is no truer words have ever been spoken.
That's the way to a man's heart, through his stomach.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. You're right.
But I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah, the sinker slide. Yeah, if you throw it and they separate, then you got to wait for it to hit the bottom, and then you got to reel it in to make your bait catch back up to your sinker. So, but you're right.
They have their place. I mean, they definitely have their place.
Now,
and
for me,
I guess for me, water temperatures, when they start hitting 50 degrees and below, sinker slides come out. That's about the time I switched to using gizzard shad for bait is when the sinker slides come out. Yeah. About the same time.
Go cheap. For me, I really like sinker slides or no roll flat sinkers for flathead fishing. And you might have something there. The hippies might attack you this morning. Safety first, we got to get around Jeep to keep us safe. We got a Garden Princess and chat says good chat, y'all. Appreciate that. We try to do our best.
We try.
This stuff here is just opinions and experiences that we've come across in our time on the water, and we want to share it, and if nothing else, we will stir something in your brain to make you start thinking about things a little bit differently.
Yeah, and you always have to remember like where I fish when I give other people advice, and I have to remember that with Roger. I found it so funny this spring when the Ohio River was just flown out the banks, and oh my God, the current is raging. We don't know what to do. And like, well, how fast is the current? Oh my God, it's almost 3 miles an hour. Like, hang on, I got some advice for you. And hey, and what happened? Y'all found fish. I'm like, hey, let me tell you what you need to do, because that is my home turf right now. What you're talking about.
Yeah.
It helps.
We can get up to 4 or 5 mile an hour current at times. But yeah, that's few and far between. I would love to have a little bit of flow right now. My goodness, I'm not telling you anything. It seems like no matter what I say,
it's slower than normal.
It seems like no matter what we say, except for the cold, you've got it worse. When I say it's hot, it's really hot down there.
Yeah.
If I say we ain't got no flow, you really ain't got no flow.
Well,
I mean, compared.
I'm slower than normal, but I bet you I've still got more current than the probably average person in our chat. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still when I was fishing Sunday, well, of course, that was below that hydro. I was still dealing with 2.5 miles an hour. In the main channel in the Mississippi, it's just slow enough I can spot lock my boat, but that's still over 2 miles an hour. It's slow for me, but it's not
right.
Slow.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really quite think of it that way. First thing comes to mind is all these things. First thing comes to mind is all these images and pictures and videos I'm seeing of like the banks dried up and crazy stuff.
Well, okay, I will address that, because a lot of these things I see on TikTok and all these other things about where they show you a picture of the Mississippi River and it's sand all the way across with no water. Look at those pictures very carefully. A lot of them that they're taking are not actually of the main channel. They're actually of a secondary channel or a chute or an oxbow lake or something. A lot of these pictures aren't actually of the Mississippi River. Okay, they're not. I will tell you that right now. Now, is it at a historic low? Yes, it is. Is it going dry? No, it is not going dry. Barges are still running up and down. Yes, they're restricted on draft and tow size, but they're running. Barges are still running the full length. Nobody's, you don't have tugs sitting on sand in the middle of the river. It's not. It ain't like that. That's.
This is a great comment from Stan, and I think it's worth noting that you take the information that you hear and tweak it to work for your waters and your conditions, and everything that, at least for me, everything that I say most likely came from somewhere, and I've twerked it. I mean, not twerked, tweaked it. I'm not twerking.
You can't take that one back. Sorry.
You don't want none of that. Trust me.
No.
But you just make adjustments to work in the area that you're fishing. Saw a Dollar General in the middle of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Hey, what do you say we talk a little bit about this upcoming weekend? We got another fishing event. Coming up, and if you guys haven't already seen, we got this deal here coming up, and I don't know if it'll have sound or not. Well, I wonder if it has sound.
Well, you have the little mic thing turned off. There you go.
How do you hear it?
I can't hear it.
Can't hear nothing?
I can't hear it.
Well, too.
I don't know why.
All right. I'll take that off. Without the music that goes with it, it's just not that cool.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. The music is everything. It really is.
Anyway, we got day 2 of So You Think You Can Fish coming up this weekend, and the anglers are ready to get back at it. And again, this is the tournament where no electronics can be used. this, and they're fishing new bodies of water that they've never fished before. Now, with the click the share audio button. When did you click?
Oh, don't click that button. That one makes it go away.
Share to
Hey, this is our first time doing a live show, folks. You think we'd have all this figured out by now? Guess not.
Oh, there was a button that says share system audio. So let me try it again.
Try it again. It's pretty epic with the music. It's worth it.
We'll try one more time. What is that?
Whoa.
Let me see what happens if I hit play.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
You hear music?
Yes.
All right. This is only 2 minutes long. You guys stuck around this long.
Made it at this point. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I had fun making that.
Mm-hmm. So just to keep everybody up, why don't you remind everyone what is our standings? Who is leading? Because this is day 2. So remind everybody who's in the lead thus far.
You're right. That is day 2. Right here, I have. This is actually. Let me try to zoom this in for y'all. There we go. Let me see. I'll go ahead and make it full screen so you guys can see it a little bit better. Right now, we got Catfish Bandit sitting. I don't know what happened to the number there. Day 1, they had total. They only had 1 fish on the board. Bobcat went bumping the Watts Bar. Ended up with a 44, a 6-pounder, and a 49-pounder. Gave them a total of 100 pounds. They're our leaders right now. Only the top 3 fish count in this event. So El Gato, they went out and went on the water as well. They got into a mess of small fish. Their total weight ended up being 21.8 pounds. Snake River, Sean went out there and caught his PB flathead that morning.
Yes.
And man, he was a tank. He was out there super early. I think his time zone is like 3 hours difference from ours. During this first event, we started at 7, which put him on the water at like 4.
Oh wow!
This Saturday, the event will start at 8 due to time. The daylights changing for everyone. Without grass, I don't want people out there in the dark bumping into stuff.
Yeah, 8 Eastern, right?
8 Eastern time. Yes, I'm sorry.
So 7 for me. Yeah, gotcha.
Yep. So and Freddie, he caught a few small fish as well. But but honestly, it's anybody's game. As good as Bobcat is, he did catch a couple nice fish, but he only caught 3 fish for the entire day. He got, it happened to be that 2 of those fish were fantastic fish, but as we've seen in several events, especially as of late, there's no such thing as a washout. That anybody can take this.
You never know. That's right. Yep. You never know.
Yep. I know Stan's watching right now, which I know for day one they weren't able to compete, but they're still in it. If they choose to compete, they could still compete.
Oh yeah.
The same with J Dog. I think I had J Dog's on here too. If he chooses to compete, he was also one of the ones in the competition. So
yep.
That's where we're at day one. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's funny. At the end of the day, I remember on day one, I asked him, how many times did you look at your graph or where your graph was supposed to be? And they all admitted it was rough.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's yeah.
So if you're looking forward to it, Saturday morning, we will be there, and we'll be having a good time.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have fun.
Oh, most definitely. Well, there'll be a lot more catfish talk and
yes.
talking to the anglers out there. What the rules was that they had to go to a new body of water. They do not have to go to a new body of water each day. It's a 3-day competition.
Yeah.
So they can go back to the area they fished previously if they choose to. Now they can, however, choose something different. So let's say, these guys didn't have the performance they were looking for. They can want to try somewhere else. As long as they've never been on that water before, it's fair game.
Yep, that's it. If you want to take that risk of trying, new territory for a second time in a row, hey, go for it.
Yep. So, but anyway, we're looking forward to that, and hope to see you guys there. And what else? What else we got going on? I'm trying to think.
I drew a blank all of a sudden. It seemed like I had 5 things that we could have talked about with events coming up, and all of a sudden, poof.
River Wars. Just because your ground's over doesn't mean they're all over.
Man, wow!
Yeah, here we go. Wow. Stan's got it right there. Keep it positive. Keep it about fishing. Love it. There you go, brother.
Yep.
No, we have. I didn't see a promo video for the other river battle.
For the James and the Tennessee.
Yeah. So the James versus the Tennessee is coming up on November 19th. So a couple weekends from now. And that's going to be, I don't know whose channel that is. Do you?
Not that one. I don't know.
I might have to check with Brian. If he needs somebody, I might be able to do that. I need to be pre-fishing though. Because the weekend after, November 26th, will be the Ohio River versus the Cooper River.
Yes.
And that is shaping up to be I tell you, it's Uncle Jeep says #Palmetto's boat. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Every tournament, everybody's trying to give away Palmetto's boat as a prize.
I got you.
One of these days, somebody's going to show up at his house and hook it up and just leave. And like, hey, they told me I won this thing. And I don't know.
Oh, Kevin's supposed to host that one. Okay, I got you, Stan.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
I think I do remember hearing that.
Gotcha.
So Kevin will host that one. Brian B is going to host the Ohio versus the Cooper with Mr. Creole Catfishing. You're going to be co-hosting on that event, right?
Yes, I will be.
So,
I think I'm very excited about seeing that matchup because we've all lovingly dubbed it the Battle of the Underdogs, which is hilarious now.
Yeah.
But I just cannot wait to see that matchup. I'm very excited about that particular one.
I got to be honest. When you put all 6 of these rivers versus each other, the Ohio River, we've got some decent fish.
Yeah.
We don't have Mississippi fish. We don't have James River giants and Tennessee fish. We just don't have as many. But what we do have is some great anglers and with a lot of heart that won't quit. And we find some fish on occasion. But Brian B put together a heck of a teaser video for this event coming up with the Ohio versus the Cooper. And if you guys don't mind, we'll play it for you. Because I don't think you haven't seen it yet, buddy, have you?
No, I have not seen this.
1, 2, 3, now we're playing with the big boys. Gonna take it to the street, now we're gonna make a big noise. Gonna climb so high, now we're rising up. Are you ready now? Turn it up. Hey, are you ready for this? Oh, I can see my name under big lights. It sure looks good to me. I'm coming up now, I'm ready for the big time. I'm gonna be hard to beat. Oh, I'm a hard act to follow, got a big reputation. Oh, hold on now. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this now? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this now? Are you ready for this? Now take it to the street. You ain't seen nothing like this now. It's my time, I'm back on my feet now. I never miss a beat, that's the way I roll. You can watch me doing it. Hold on now. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this now? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this now? Are you ready for this? Now take it to the street. I can feel it coming. Can you feel it coming? You got one life, come on, take hold of it. That's right, now don't let go of it. Hold on now.
No, that ain't right. You should have stayed with that little bitty rock. That ain't even right.
Oh, I can see my name on the big lights. It sure looks good to me. I'm coming up now, I'm ready for the big time. I'm gonna be hard to beat. Oh, I'm a hard act to follow, got a big reputation. Oh, hold on now. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this now? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this now? Are you ready for this? Now take it to the street.
I like it.
Dude, Brian did.
Yeah.
That is Brian B's video. That is not my video. I would take credit for that video in a heartbeat, but I did not do that video. Brian B did that video, and I think it's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It gets you pumped up.
It's definitely a good teaser video. So
Yes.
Harold, what the heck, man? I guess I deserve that. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, why not? Nobody's safe.
It's almost 9:30 already. We still got 50 people hanging out in chat. Oh, Brian was listening. He probably heard that music. Brian, that was a heck of a video, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm pumped up already. You know, we still got like 3 weeks away.
Yeah, got a long time to go.
There you go. Some thumbs up says, great job, great promo, Brian B. I thought it was worth sharing because it was a bang up job, and we only got a couple weeks left, and then it won't get as much glory as it has right now. So we're going to play it out.
There you go. Spread the love. Spread it out.
So does Monster rod holders make rear-facing mounts for U.S. and destroyer?
Right. Yeah, you can put a lot of rods across the back of that big old boat. A lot.
You just drop a bomb in the water and just let them float to the top.
Depth charge.
There you go.
Might be a new style of fishing.
We actually, when we were down in Tennessee, we actually saw them guys. They were shocking the water and taking surveys. And we went somewhere else. They were doing the same thing. Oh, it was on the Ohio River. It was Department of West Virginia.
Yeah,
they were sifting for mussels. They were, I don't know, they were doing some kind of study on the mussels in that area.
Interesting.
It took a good while to get it together mentally. Well, you did a good job with it, buddy.
They came together. I like it.
As a content creator, and a lot of other people, here in chat have put together videos and stuff too. It's different when you watch a video and you're a content creator and you watch all the cuts, all the edits, all the extra little features that you did there that make it even more impressive than just watching a video. So, well done.
Absolutely.
All right. We got anything else to talk about? I mean, I know we could probably keep talking till like Saturday, but
yeah, that's usually how it goes.
But I think that's about it. We covered a lot of information tonight. I think Becca said the same thing. She said she didn't want any more. That she's already got enough going on up there.
We were rolling for a while.
Yeah. So
well, hopefully, when the bite gets slow, the water gets cold, the fish don't want to cooperate. If we can help one person put one more fish in the boat, our work is done.
I got one. I had one more tip. This is something I thought of earlier, but I forgot when I was speaking about it. Was if you're dragging baits and you're getting short strikes or short bites, and you don't know whether to speed up or slow down, take your boat and zigzag. Because here's what happens when you turn to the right, all your rods on the inside slow down, but all your rods on the outside speed up. And so if you start zigzagging, whether you lay a track down, if you are able to do that, or you just run the trolling motor and just make some zigzags, if you start noticing, hey, all the rods keep getting bit on the slow side of the boat, well, there's your answer.
Then you know.
Or vice versa. If the outside keeps getting bit because they're going faster, then now you know, hey, I should be going faster. So just keep that in your back pocket. This time of year when things are transitioning and you don't really know what the speed should be. That's a real quick way when you're dragging baits anyway, with planer boards especially, you can really kind of do some work quick and by just making some zigzags. That's only if the fish are active, if you're getting some bites and things are moving along. But if there's nothing happening, it's not going to help you anything. But something you can have in your back pocket that if you're just not sure if you should speed up or slow down, do some zigzags. Oh, we had a couple other things to brag on. I forgot. Can we brag on my grandson for killing an 8-point buck on the grandsons, 8 point each on the same day, and his 6-year-old, his first kill, and 11-year-old is tagged out. Holy cow!
I like it.
That is some good stuff. Hang on. Let's see if I can find this real quick. Oops. Try to get over here. I was going to. Where did my messages go? There we go. There's that right there. Oops. I wanted to share. Our friend John mentioned that he took a young man out and got him on his first ever catfish. And he sent me some videos. Now, playing through my player on my phone, the video quality was a little rough. But let me see if I can get one of these to come up here real quick.
Okay.
And I told him I would try to share one of these videos if I could. And pause this one right here. And forgive me because I didn't scroll through fast enough to catch this young man's name, but I watched all these video clips and I don't remember which one I just clicked on. But where's my sound?
Yep. Up high, Kate. Keep your pole up high. There you go. You're all right. It's okay. Lift up.
Okay, he's pulling drag. Now you got to roll it the same way, bud.
Same way.
Check him out, man.
He just took that one right now. I'm Wayne.
Cade, that's right. His young man's name's Cade.
Oh, yeah, Kate. You ready?
All right.
Yeah, dude.
There's another one. Hey, Cade, I can't hold it up now.
That was not the same.
Hey.
Better one, man.
Hey. Oops, sorry, I spit on you. Here, look at me.
Oh, God,
Look at me.
Look at that. Dude.
That's all.
Don't touch.
Okay. Smack that boy.
Look here.
Look, see the hook? See how far you got it in there?
Yep. And again,
Do you want me to keep rolling this?
look at that camera, and who do you think?
Say
Say, hey, Bink, look at that circle hook. Say
Hey,
it
babe,
loud.
look at this.
Say it loud.
Okay. Hey, Vic, look at the circle hook.
Didn't even have to jerk, did you?
No. I don't.
Give me 5, dude. Good job.
Cade, you got the first two.
Yeah.
I don't even catch one.
Okay, that's awesome.
I'm touching.
Hold on. Don't touch the tops. Hold on. I'm still recording you.
Touch him all over the back of it.
Back here.
Anywhere you want. You can. He ain't gonna hurt you.
He was nice.
See how pretty he is and the color on him?
Yeah.
Here, give her. I'm gonna hold this.
Careful, yeah.
Now, look at
Look at the camera. There you go.
Oh, God.
That's okay. You're wiping up my
Where's
face.
that dish?
Right here. Sorry.
Notice how he hung on to that fish the whole time so it wouldn't get him.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I got the camera all going all sorts of. Hold on, I gotta turn it on.
Slimy or is that water?
There you go. Oh, wait.
Is that slime or water? Can't tell.
There you go. Now you're ready. Do you want to take that thing when you get a chance?
He looks cool looking. He looks actually better than the other one. He's not as bleeding.
There you go,
Oh,
Cade.
yeah,
You're YouTube famous.
Hey, that's it, bro. I like it.
How much does this blood? How much does this?
Yeah, Becky caught it too, man. He winked at
He
us.
Mhm.
Got it.
And the double thumbs up, man. That's
You
awesome.
hold it there, John.
These guys went on to catch some more fish that day, but
You.
I thought it was worth sharing.
Right now,
We got to experience the young man's, first fishes. The first fish right there, and John, man, fantastic. I know that there's a backstory behind this family and why you wanted to take them out and get them introduced to the outdoors. And so hats off to you, my brother, for taking the time to take a family out and introduce them to the outdoors. And I don't know, the look on that boy's face looked pretty good, pretty sold to me.
Oh yeah, he is. Oh yeah, he's hooked now. That's it.
Yeah, there we go. So hey, I just wanted to share that with everybody and say congratulations, Cade, and welcome to the Catfish family, buddy. We're glad to have you.
Ain't no turning back now.
There you go. Josh says the same thing. Young man did great. He's hooked for life. That's what we hope to achieve. Every time we mention the kids, we hope to get somebody interested and hooked. They're the future. They are the true conservation efforts of tomorrow, because they're the ones that's going to be here fighting after we're gone.
Yeah, we ain't gonna be around forever.
There you go. I've heard him say this before, and that's awesome. It's not the size of the fish; it's the size of the excitement. Yeah. And that right there was a monster. You were absolutely right.
I mean,
buddy.
and hey, I say it all the time. Be proud of what you catch. It doesn't matter the size of it. Be proud of your catch, and they'll never say, "Oh, well, I want to show off this fish, but it's only 3 pounds." No, if you're excited about it, show it off.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yeah. What you might consider, an average fish, somebody that might be a fish of a lifetime for somebody.
Exactly.
And if you're just like, it's just another 30-pounder, like 30-pounder.
Some people fish their whole lives to try to catch a 30-pound fish.
Yep. Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, well, guys, I know that Mr. Creole has to work in the morning. I got a couple things I got to get done before I can shut her down tonight. So, we're going to wrap things up and say thank you guys all for tuning in tonight and being here, being part of the chat. It was fun having everyone here, asking questions. Keep them coming. We love to talk catfishing with everybody as much as we can. And if you have more questions, myself or Jeremy are always open. You can hit us up a messenger. If you don't have that, you can request an email.
Yep.
And it's in my YouTube About page. You can find it there.
Mine is
and
too.
then you also have tons and tons of other people right here in chat.
Oh,
I'm looking at names and I see that Two Stands is in chat here. Two Stands is a great resource for information. The Weekend Angler. If you haven't checked out his channel, you're missing out. We have the one and only Paula Smith, who is iconic in her fishing abilities. And what I can tell you that all these people have in common, regardless of background, race, or gender, is that we all love catfishing.
Yep.
And everyone's always been willing to share as much information as they got in their skulls. Oh, here's another one. James Smith, had a long-running show on sharing information and trying to help out the catfish community. So if you're ever in a bind or you got something festering in your mind and you want to talk to somebody, we're going to have to, Stan, we've got to come up with a 1-800 line here. We'll get connected to our phones. We just 1-800 Catfish Talk 24/7.
Catfish hotline.
Catfish hotline. Operators are standing by. All right, we're going to shut her down here, guys. Yep. We'll see you next Tuesday night or Saturday morning, actually. Saturday morning.
Yes.
We'll be out there doing the So You Think You Can Fish. So if you don't make it then, we'll see you next Saturday or next Tuesday night. Same cat time, same cat channel. Good night, everybody.
Well, fish everybody.
There we go. Share the bait.